Welcome to this explainer. Let's jump right in, because today we're going to dive into a brilliant little way to take back control of your PC and completely bypass that tedious start menu routine we all go through, every single day. If you've ever felt like powering down your computer just takes a few too many steps, well, you are absolutely in the right place.
Okay, let's really think about this everyday annoyance for a second. Think about your current routine. First, you're clicking the Start menu. Then, you're hunting around for that little power icon. And finally, you're selecting Shutdown from a pop-up list, right? That is 3 distinct actions just to tell your machine to go to sleep. Now, it might not seem like a massive deal in the moment, but when you do this day in and day out, it literally becomes an unnecessary friction point in your workflow.
But what if I told you there's a hidden superpower built right into your operating system? Seriously, a built-in feature that lets you bypass all those menus and execute an instant shutdown with just a single double click directly from your desktop. It is a total game changer for desktop users, laptop setups, home theater PCs, and really just anyone who values ultimate efficiency.
So here's exactly what we're going to cover today. We'll look at the one-click shutdown command, building your custom shortcut, upgrading the boring icon, exploring some advanced power user commands, and finally, placement and troubleshooting.
Okay, part 1, the one-click shutdown and its built-in magic. To pull this off, we aren't just making a standard, run-of-the-mill shortcut to a folder or an app. We are actually speaking directly to the Windows operating system using a very specific command string. The core of this trick revolves around a built-in executable that is simply called Shutdown. When you use this, Windows immediately sends a shutdown signal. It stops running services, closes user sessions, unloads your drivers, and powers off the machine. And honestly, on modern systems with solid-state drives, it does this incredibly fast.
Let's actually translate that code into plain English so you know exactly what your computer is doing. First, the word shutdown calls up the utility itself. Next, we add a space and a / with an S. That /S stands for shutting down the computer entirely. Then we add a space and a / with a T. The /T establishes a timer before the shutdown actually begins. And finally, we add a space and the number 0. Basically, we're telling the utility to trigger, but the timer is set to exactly 0 seconds for an instant, immediate execution. Moving right along to section 2, building your custom shortcut in a quick 4-step process.
Building this custom tool is a super simple 4-step process. You don't need any coding experience whatsoever, you definitely don't need to download any sketchy third-party software, and the whole shebang takes maybe 30 seconds from start to finish.
Starting on an empty space anywhere on your desktop, you're just going to right-click to open up your standard context menu. From there, hover over New, and then click on Shortcut. This immediately launches the Windows Shortcut Creation Wizard, which is going to ask you what item would you like to create a shortcut for.
Now this is the absolutely crucial part. You need to enter our direct command string exactly as we broke it down earlier. Right there in the location field, type shutdown /S/T 0, making sure to include those vital spaces between the characters. Once that's typed in, click Next. Windows will then ask you to name the shortcut. You can name it whatever you want: emergency shutdown, power off, or simply shutdown PC. Hit Finish, and boom, your functional button is created.
Let's jump to section 3, upgrading the boring icon to customize your button.
So you have the shortcut, but to customize it, you'll want to right-click that new desktop icon, select Properties, go to the Shortcut tab, and click Change Icon. Now, when you do this, Windows is actually going to pop up a little warning box at you. It'll tell you that the file shutdown.exe contains no icons of its own. Don't panic. Seriously, it's totally normal. Just hit OK.
Here is how we easily bypass that warning. When you hit OK, Windows automatically redirects you to a hidden library buried deep in your system files. It's called Shell32DLL. This single glorious file contains dozens of classic Windows icons. You've got power symbols, yellow warning signs, little computer monitors, lock symbols, you name it.
For our purposes, you're going to want to select a bold, instantly recognizable icon, something like the classic red power button. Click OK, then hit Apply. And just like that, you transform a generic, kind of invisible file into a customized, highly visible, and visually satisfying one-click shutdown tool resting right there on your desktop. I mean, it looks official, and it works perfectly.
All right, section 4, advanced commands to level up your control.
Look how incredibly easy it is to customize the experience from here. If you want a one-click restart button instead, just swap out the /S for a /R. Or maybe you want to hibernate so you can save your memory contents to disk. Just use Shutdown/H. Need to quickly log out of a shared family computer? Shutdown/L is your answer. And take a look at that last one. If you change the 0 at the very end to a 300, you just gave yourself a perfect 5-minute or 300-second shutdown timer.
Now you might be wondering, why in the world would I use a timed shutdown shortcut? Well, it's actually incredibly useful for a few specific scenarios. Say you're waiting for a massive file or game download to finish up, but you really need to leave the house. Just set a timer. It's also brilliant for home theater PC setups if you're the kind of person who has a habit of falling asleep while a movie plays, making sure the system puts itself to bed eventually. It's just a really fantastic way to automate daily power-saving routines without having to be physically sitting at the desk.
But hey, as they say, with great power comes great responsibility. What if you accidentally click your time shutdown icon while you still have unsaved work open? Yikes! You need an emergency brake, and that is exactly what Shutdown/A is. The /A literally stands for abort. By creating a second shortcut using this exact command, you give yourself an essential superpower to instantly cancel any pending shutdown process and save your data. I actually highly recommend placing this abort button right next to your timer button.
Finally, Section 5, Placement and Fixes to Optimize Your Workflow. Leaving the icon on your desktop is great and all, but if you have a bunch of open windows covering it up, it kind of defeats the entire purpose. For the ultimate keyboard-free operation, you can take your custom icon, right-click it, and choose Pin to Taskbar or Pin to Start. By pinning it to your taskbar, that bright red power button is literally always visible at the bottom of your screen, giving you instant access no matter what applications you currently have open.
Just a quick heads up regarding the Windows version you're currently running. Whether you are on Windows 10 or Windows 11, the core commands and the results are completely 100% identical. You just have to navigate a slightly different visual menu to actually pin your shortcut. Windows 10 has that classic left-aligned setup with standard context menus, whereas Windows 11 centers things and might require you to click Show More Options before you actually see the pin to taskbar selection. But underneath the hood, the engine works the exact same way.
Now what if you double-click your awesome new shortcut and absolutely nothing happens? Let's troubleshoot real quick. The absolute most common culprits are simply a missed space or a tiny typo in the text field when you first wrote the command. Just go back to Properties and double-check your syntax. If you happen to get an access denied error, you might be on a limited user account, or maybe some strict security software is blocking direct OS commands. And if you tried the hibernate shortcut and it failed, you might need to open your command prompt as an administrator and type powercfg -h on just to enable that feature first. And there you have it. You have now successfully bypassed the default menus, customized your own interface, and spoken directly to your operating system to reclaim your time and efficiency. So as we wrap up this explainer, I hope it leaves you wondering, now that you know exactly how easy it is to bend Windows to your will with simple commands, what other daily repetitive computer tasks can you customize and conquer next? Thanks for joining me, and happy customizing.